If you quit college the first time or never tried, and now you think that you are too stupid or too old, you are wrong. When I started my master's degree, I got a job teaching freshman English, but my problem was that I had finished college in only 1 year, so I was the same age as my students. I was afraid they wouldn't respect me and that I would lose control of my classroom and get fired and not be able to pay for my degree, so I disguised how young I was by only wearing suits and growing facial hair and acting mostly very serious. Sometimes we humans think we're better than we are, but most of the time we think there's something wrong with us when there isn't. And if you're like the 65% of people who never try college or who drop out, you might think you're stuck because you feel too old or not smart enough. For me, my teaching fear was unfounded because some of my students actually did figure out how old I was, but it only made them think I was cooler. You can see me here dressing up for Halloween with them or introducing them to my dog, or here's the time I juggled some of the apples they stole from the dining hall.
You can't do it. Okay, I can only do 3. Oh my God.
When I stopped pretending to be the serious old professor, I realized there wasn't actually anything wrong with me, and I became a happier and better teacher. And there is nothing wrong with you, but you can only succeed at college when you accept this. So, if you made mistakes in the past, I need you to forgive yourself. You might feel like you're behind because of past mistakes, but if you let that stop you from trying college now, all you're doing is holding a grudge against a past version of yourself. And I am here to tell you that it is time to move on and to graduate. The second thing you need to know is that you are not too old. I have literally worked with students in their 90s, and if they're not too old, neither are you. And here's a big one, guys. You need to know that you are not stupid. Lots of us think of smart people with high IQ scores, but intelligence is not something that you can measure on a scale. In fact, research shows that there are different types of intelligence that peak at different times in our lives. In your 20s, your raw processing speed is fast, but in your 30s, you've got stronger short-term memory. In your 40s and 50s, you have your highest emotional intelligence, and in your 60s, you have strong crystallized memory, which means you know a lot. In fact, the 2023 World Quizzing Champion, Ronnie Swiggers, was 62. And there are so many other types of intelligences like spatial or visual or problem solving or critical thinking, and you have been sharpening these intelligences your entire life. I guarantee you are more prepared to go to college now than when you were 18. But you know what else? Raw intelligence only gets you so far. So here are the 3 things that you actually need to be able to succeed at college, no matter your age or what you think your intelligence is. The first is your work ethic. When I was a college professor, if a student put in the work, they almost always passed my class. If they didn't put in the work, they almost always failed, no matter how smart they were. I remember the best paper a student ever wrote for me. It had interesting, unique ideas. The structure was meticulously put together. The grammar was perfect. The formatting was amazing. It would have been an A, except that this student had submitted it 2 months late. And so this very intelligent student got an F. And I had other students in that class who were not as smart, but who asked questions, who put the work in, who submitted it on time, and still got an A. I'm telling you, as a college, a grad school, a PhD graduate, and as a professor, that college is about putting in the work. If you can do that, you will succeed. The second big thing you need is a reason why. I had an online student who was living out of his car because he had lost his job and lost his house, and he was emailing me to ask for a 1-day extension on a paper. Graduating meant getting his job back, getting his house back, getting his life back, and he was so committed to this purpose that literally being homeless was only going to slow this paper down by a single day. Compare that to meetings I've had with students in my office over this very same large and beautiful desk. Students whose parents were paying for their degree and who didn't know what major they wanted because they didn't know what career they wanted. They had no sense of purpose, and so they were failing their classes and needed help. If you want to be like the first guy and to graduate college, you need to decide why you want to go. My reason why was to get a teaching job and because I really liked studying literature. But your reason might be because you want a promotion, you want to switch career fields, you want to prove something to yourself. Maybe you want to prove something to a really obnoxious high school guidance counselor who said that you couldn't. Or maybe you just want to set a good example for your kids. Whatever your reason why, make sure that you believe in it. And the last thing you need is the ability to follow instructions. When I was going through college, I was easily in the bottom half of most of my classes, but I knew why I wanted to get through and I was ready to put in the work. So all I really needed then was just to know how to do the things I needed to do, like write the papers or lead discussions or give presentations. And if you don't know how to follow certain instructions, you need to know how to ask for help. Guess what I did in college? I asked for a lot of help. I remember sitting in one professor's office for like an hour and a half while he explained things for which I just didn't know half of the words he was saying. I was so intimidated. It was so insane, but I kept asking for help. I kept trying to follow the instructions, and eventually I succeeded. You, I assume, have held a job for more than a week, and so you know how to follow instructions, and I presume know how to ask for help when you don't. So if you can hold on to that why, put in the work, and figure out exactly what direction to aim that work by following instructions, you can graduate college. There's really nothing more to it. Please believe me. We so often think that college is intimidating and scary because it's college. But really, guys, it just comes down to those three things. So apart from that, what is your biggest personal roadblock in getting back to college? Comment it down below. I will respond and encourage other people who are maybe facing similar struggles or struggles that you have overcome in the past. And if you want to graduate quickly and expensively, I've got a video right here that will show you how to turn a 4-year degree into a 1-year degree. Thanks for watching and happy hacking.